Ah, Traveler's Choice Vodka. Or, no, sorry, Traveler's Club. Even shittier, I think.
You can charge her now.
$4 for this bottle.
If you want, take the charger out of the
Yeah.
backpack there and bring it with you.
Screw that. Tastes worse than mouthwash.
It's a podcast.
There he is.
There I am. All right, here we are. So, I'm Gus with the podcast, and this part of the podcast is brought to you by Fleshlight. Fleshlight, go fuck yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. So, okay, we just we just went through and endured a few hours of tyranny, oppression.
Feminazis.
Feminazis. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for women's rights, but goddamn this movie. So hard. Triggered. We just watched Ghostbusters, the new one. Not the old one, the new one. Dave, your thoughts?
I should have drank more before I watched it.
Yeah, I think we all should have beforehand, although I was already teed up and I still wasn't ready for it, and that's saying something. So, within the first 15 minutes of the movie, there was what? Three fart jokes, poop jokes?
And a queef joke.
And a queef joke. There was a queef joke. So you knew that's how far it was going, queef jokes.
Right off the bat.
Off the bat. I mean,
within the first, I'd say, 2 minutes of McCarthy on screen, there was a joke.
Oh my god! I mean, like to start it off with having the overview of the haunted mansion that was in New York and whatnot. And Rob, yes, you can come on in and sit down. Go get your drink. Sit down. Within the first few minutes, it started off with kind of like a spooky, haunted, spectre kind of thing. The guy was trapped in a room, and there was slime and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, okay, slime. All right, that sounds
that's normal.
Oddly familiar for a Ghostbusters film. So I was okay with that.
Green slime. Yep, that's
Green
normal.
Slime. Yeah, so okay with that. And it was a little spooky at first, and you're like, ooh, this is weird. The one thing through this entire film, it was not scary one bit. The original Ghostbusters film, go get her, Ray. Sure, you have your comedy, but like when the friggin' hands came up out of like Dana's chair in the first movie and grabbed her grabbed her, and then pulled her into the thing and into the kitchen and turned her into the gatekeeper, and I am the keymaster. I am the gatekeeper. Grope busters. Grope busters.
There was some good.
That was
horror elements.
That was some pretty good horror elements. In this one, it was like, let's be funny, let's be cheery, let's be blah blah blah.
It was. There was no horror other than
nothing.
Poof.
The very beginning was good. The very beginning, like the first 4 minutes.
That showed promise, and then they quickly just
threw it away.
Oh, hey, here's something sparking, and then something scary is gonna happen.
But then, besides the whole sparking, spooky, creepy things happening, it was like, let's bring in Chris Hemsworth. Chris Hemsworth, we'll have you on, and you'll be our secretary. And it's like, oh, Chris Hemsworth, we know him as Thor, and, we know him in a few other different films, and his brother also too. They both have those kind of like dramatic kind of roles. But then you see them in this one, and you're like,
I think he had to turn off his brain for this role.
I wonder, was he drunk or high the entire time? Every time he opened his mouth, it was like a woman popped out. No offense to women, but I had to go there. A woman popped out off the set and was like, "You can't do that. This is a woman's Ghostbusters film. Be stupid."
Yes.
That's pretty much how it was. It was terrible. I'm going to go right off the bat right now. I'm going to rate this before we get further into this. I'm going to say out of 5 stars, this is like a 1.3. Dave?
I don't know. That might be giving it a little bit much there, Kyle. That actually might be a little too high.
What would you say?
I don't know if I could even give it a star.
Jesus.
I think it has to give me a star.
I mean, I think the reason why I gave it the 1.3 was because of... Oh, real quick, by the way, hi, welcome to Not Another Podcast. I'm Kyle, this is Dave.
Hello.
So I gave it a 1.3 because of 3 people. And that's saying something, and we'll get into that a little bit later. That Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and I can't for the love of me remember what his name was. God. The Black Ghostbusters. God, we see him at conventions all the time, Rob. He's always at conventions.
Don't ask me. I can't remember any actors' names.
No. Harold Ramis passed away, so he's dead. So that's why he wasn't in this.
Thank God. I think he's probably rolling in his grave right now
my
after
God,
this movie got made.
Hey, Dave. He's probably spitting ectoplasmic goo. He is the new Slimer.
He is rolling so furiously that you could generate enough power to power the entire New York City metropolitan area.
Exactly.
With his body.
No, it was all right. So there's a couple. Pretty much everyone made an appearance in this.
Yes, everyone did make an appearance.
And
not as the original characters. Which
all right. There is. That's who it is. I keep forgetting his name, but it's Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson, yes.
Now he's still funny. He's still a funny guy. I love Ernie Hudson. Whenever you see him at like conventions or when he's been in a bunch of different things since Ghostbusters, and he's actually quite funny.
Yes.
And I think he's done some comedy shows too. But
possibly, I don't know.
But the one that popped out to me, there were 2 actually. Sorry, Sigourney Weaver at the end in the post-credit scene.
Yes.
There was nothing with her in the entire film.
Right. It was just out of nowhere. The lady who plays Holtzman goes, "Hey, this is my mentor," and they're both looking at everything, going, "This could blow up at any second." She goes, "Cool, right?"
Stupid.
And then she goes, "Where's the safety lights?" Holtzman, "Safety lights are for men."
Feminazis. Then you have Annie Potts. Now Annie Potts was originally the
secretary.
She was the secretary of the first few films, and she was what? What was she? She was kind of a secretary in this one. She was like the
She was the front desk attendant at the hotel.
At the hotel. She was a front desk. So I mean, like, you know what's really funny though was she still looked good.
Yeah, she was actually decent looking. She has aged well. Yeah,
she did not age badly. She still looks pretty much the same. The voice was still the same. So when you heard it, you're like, oh my God, there it is. So I think like the whole gimmick of this film was like, we're going to space out our cameos throughout the entire film so you stay entertained.
Yeah. Even though I think it didn't really add anything to the film at all.
It added absolutely nothing, but it was like, hey, I remember that person. My biggest letdown of this entire film.
Bill Murray.
Bill Murray coming in saying, I don't believe in ghosts.
These guys are fakes. This whole thing they're doing is a fake. It's a fraud.
And then, Dave, what happened?
He got killed by a ghost.
He got killed by a ghost. Thrown out a window, which wasn't the original fire station that you were thinking of. It was in a Chinese restaurant?
It was above a Chinese restaurant. When they were first looking at the places to rent, the lady said, or brought them to the original fire station, actually. Yep. And then they said, oh, it's $21,000 a month. And one of the main actresses, I can't remember her name.
It was Kirsten Wiig or Melissa McCarthy or
not McCarthy.
It was Wiig.
Yeah,
Wiig.
She looks at the real estate lady and goes, "We can't afford that."
Wiig in this movie was basically the Bill Murray of everything. Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I love Wiig because from SNL and from the movie Paul specifically, she was hysterical, and I thought that she would be, a good actress for this, and she was, but the supporting cast was just the wrong choices. It's all around wrong choices. I mean, like, she'd pop in and she would make like the comedic references and stuff like that, and then every so often it's like, she was the one that blurred out. She goes, "We're the Ghostbusters."
Yep.
The one thing I was worried about specifically when it came to this film was the theme, the music.
Yeah.
And
at the beginning of the movie, they had the original theme.
Yeah, they had the original theme, but
for 10 seconds.
They cut it off so fast. But throughout the film, they have a few different scenes where they have the actual music playing in the background, the original.
Yep.
And then they have like a rock version of it playing in the background at some times, which was good. And when Missy Elliott and Fall Out Boy actually put that theme song online for this film, I was worried that it was going to be the entire film because it was so bad.
Oh, God.
It was so bad. But
I don't know how many
praise the maker, C-3PO. It only appeared at the end.
Yes.
Only showed up at the end, which was good. Which probably cleared house faster than anything else. So bad.
Which is probably not, or why so many people miss the whole thing about Zool, Kyle.
Yes, I missed the vote. There is a post-credits scene. I heard it upstairs while I was looking for my power cable for this. Dave, explain.
So, Leslie Jones is in the foreground, and you've got Kirsten Wiig, the lady who plays Holtzman, in the background. Holtzman goes to Wiig's character and says, "I call this the Nutcracker." And it's this claw that closes. And Wiig goes, "Well, that's for ghosts, right?" And she says, "No, walnuts." And then you see Jones kind of freak out a little bit and set down her headphones to the tape recorder she's listening to. And they go, "Hey, you okay?" I just heard something weird. Have you guys ever heard of Zool? Then it goes black.
Zool, motherfucker! I mean, Zool, if anyone remembers, is the iconic character of the first film. It was the main villain. If somebody asks you if you're God, you say, yes!
Yes.
Go get her, Ray! Like, honestly, like that was the iconic character of the first one. Something like they had in this one, the slime and stuff like that. Actually, speaking of slime... There is no Dana, only Zool. Exactly. No, but in this film, though, Slimer made an appearance, but I honestly think they were going so female cast with this that they had to give him a female Slimer. And,
yes.
I mean,
and whether they were supposed to be married or boyfriend, girlfriend, we don't know that. We don't really care.
Well, they carjacked a car, so why not?
Yeah, I mean, they did carjack the Ghostbusters hearse.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But it's like I love Slimer. Slimer was like the epitome of Ghostbusters,
He was the mascot.
Which is why you have. Oh, we'll get to mascot in a second. Which is why you see all the stuff out in the world, which was like the Slimer food, the Ecto Cooler, Ecto Coolers.
Dang, that's what I should have tried to find before I came here to watch this movie.
I have like 8 of them in the fridge.
Why are you just telling me this now?
there's a lot of Ecto Cooler in the fridge. There's a lot. Because that was like back in the day, back in the 90s and stuff like that. Because that stuff actually lasted from the last film through like I think like 93 or something, 94.
Yeah.
They kept producing it and stuff, and it was just delicious. I remember that as a kid.
Well, I remember as a kid watching the cartoons.
Yeah, the cartoon series, yeah.
But I mean, they were producing toys and other memorabilia for years.
Aside from Ghostbusters, do you remember the Ninja Turtles Fresh from the Sewer to You sewer pies? They were like the lime filled kind of like pastry puffs. Do you remember those? They were like lime covered with like pastry puffs and like some kind of like gooey filling. Do you remember those?
I honestly do not.
Those were actually pretty good as a kid. I'm sure right now, looking back at it, we're probably like, wow, that contributed to our problems. Exactly. Oh, exactly.
Diabetes.
Bitches don't know I got the diabetes. The bitis. You also might notice that Rob is sitting over here too. Rob's just kind of sitting there like, I don't want to be here. Rob's like, I want to catch Pokemans.
I'd rather be playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
I don't play Pokemon Go.
Shut up. I do. He does too. We all do. You don't. You suck at life.
You're an outlier.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my phone will not support it.
It should.
I don't have enough memory on it.
Okay, then delete stuff. But what memory do you need? There's really nothing that requires memory on that. It's GPS.
I don't know. I don't know why, but my phone just eats up memory.
All right. Anyways, going
I
back.
blame Android.
Going back to this terrible movie. There was a gentleman in a subway station that originally Chris Hemsworth came out and said, "How about this picture as your logo?"
Yes, the Boob Ghost.
Boob Ghost. Which I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah, Boob Ghost.
Triple G's.
Yeah. Oh no. That was like quadruple X's. No. You can crush cans with those things.
More than cans.
But
Kegs.
so we got into the film, and it was like some random tag artist, like, Kid PK or something like that. Have you seen the Kid PKs around New Jersey?
No.
On the billboards, Rob, you've seen them, right? The Kid PK. The
either way, you've
tag,
got a group.
the tagged artist, the graffiti that says Kid PK. Dude, they're everywhere.
It's basically there's this graffiti artist that Leslie Jones' character starts yelling at, going, "I told you this isn't your studio," and he goes, "You're right, my studio's in Soho. This is my gallery."
But so he like tags the wall in like 10 seconds. 10
Yeah.
seconds. But somehow within 10 seconds, he paints the entire Ghostbusters logo.
Which Holtzman then decides that looks cool, takes a picture, and next scene you see the Ghostbusters host it.
God, this movie was bad.
Ghostbusters hearse in.
The hearse. Oh my god.
It's been repainted and it's got the logo
Which
on the doors.
the hearse company was owned by. At the end, he made an appearance. That was him.
Harold?
No, not Ramis. It
Not
was
Remus.
the
Oh,
one-
God dang it. We just said
We
his
just
name.
said his name. We just said his name.
My mind is full of fuck.
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson owns the hearse.
I need
company.
another
That's-
drink.
That's why he showed up at the end. But so the film pacing was like it would try to pick you up at certain points, like testing the proton packs,
Yep.
and then it would drop you off with like just random nothingness afterwards. And it was like it
Yeah.
would pick you up, drop you off, pick you up, drop you off. The entire purpose of a film is to grab your attention within the first 30 seconds of a film and carry you through the entire production. This one let me down so many more times than my mom probably did as a child. And that's saying something, because I'm fucking stupid.
Yeah, let me put it this way. The pacing was a lot like stop-and-go traffic on 80 on a Friday night coming out of the city.
Fuck that. The pacing in this was more like crossing the Tappan Zee Bridge with a crane across it.
Ouch.
That was pretty bad.
Ouch.
That was-
I think someone just got a bloody nose there.
Oh god, that was bad. No, the pacing was just all over the place, and it's like, okay, so when they went to go capture the one ghost in the rock concert,
Yeah.
it was like it showed them kind of like rolling up to the rock concert, and they forced down your throat Ozzy Osbourne.
Yes.
What? Why? How's your divorce going? Is it back on track? I don't know. We'll find out. Yeah, the whole thing with the woman and Ozzy Osbourne and the breakup and stuff with Sharon.
Yeah,
But he yells out on stage, he's like, Sharon, I'm having a flashback. To what? Ripping the heads off of bats and eating them? Maybe? I don't know. But it's like...
I think he was having a relapse to his LSD days.
Maybe. Oh, yeah, maybe. But, it's like...
Well, what's the point of having Ozzy in there other than just to say, or just to throw another big name up on the credits list?
But jumping into the film aspect of it, it was like they had for like 10 seconds a shot of the band talking, like screaming, like music and stuff like that.
Not even 10 seconds.
Not even 10 seconds. It was like 3 seconds. 3 seconds.
It was,
And then it jumped away. It's like
it jumped to them and it jumped away from them.
the editor made some really poor decisions in this film. Whoever it was, just terrible decisions. I mean,
Just
the one thing that I did enjoy from the film besides the cameos, was the actual update of the audio on the proton packs.
That was good.
The audio on the proton packs when they charged up and stuff like that, it's like, you're kind of anticipating the old school like charge up sound, and it has that in there, but they added some more beefy sound to it. So like, I'm sure you watch it in a theater and stuff like that, it's a lot louder.
Oh yeah,
but it was good. It was a good sound. I really enjoyed the sound. The other sound that really let me down though, the siren. The siren of Ecto 1. Come on. You anticipate that meow, 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 and this one it was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And you're like,
it's like they took a crappy British siren and then threw it down the hall a few times and tried using it, and that's what they got.
Hit it with a hammer a couple times. Oh, wait, no, they went all Brexit on it. There you go. We're not going to use this shit anymore. We're going to leave.
Topical.
There we go. Mashing it into mainstream media. There we go.
You see, we can make this thing topical, can't we?
It works. So, when you get further into the film and you start getting into the ghosts appearing and whatnot, so it's like you have a few different scenes where it's like they pop up one at a time. And you're kind of used to it, but the thing about the old one was it gave more information to side characters. Where Chris Hemsworth was Hemsworth was the main villain.
He became the main villain.
He became main villain.
Originally, it was this little know-nothing Rowan that got a few minutes of...
Who reminded me of... We saw Civil War together, right?
Yes.
He reminded me of Herman Zemo.
Yes.
He reminded me of Zemo.
Yeah, he was...
But... 90% less screen time. Like, he would have been a good on-screen villain character, I think, if you gave him more time.
He literally, your only exposure to him was him mumbling to himself of breaking the barrier and this and that, and
or people like saying that he's weird and strange. It's like, oh, you're gonna deal with table 3 because table 3, oh, the guy's fucking weird.
Yeah, I mean, it's
no, it's like.
They basically tried to force the creepy single guy that no one likes onto him, and then they didn't really expand on it.
Exactly. They didn't want a guy being a villain. But if you go back to the old school Ghostbusters, Sigourney Weaver had as Dana, she had a huge role. Yeah. Like it wasn't all about the Ghostbusters. There was a huge development on her character, and it was fantastic. And seeing her transform into the gatekeeper and whatnot, and like Zool appearing and whatnot, and all that kind of stuff. It's like there was so much about her. In this film, there was like nothing. There was nothing about it.
No, it's like they completely forgot the development of the other side of the film. In a film, you always have two sides. You have the good guy and the bad guy. Yeah. And you need to have some kind of story about the bad guy, as little as it may be in some, that gives you a reason why, other than this guy going, oh, these guys have always been bullying me, so I'm just going to go and kill everyone.
So here's the other question, too, is how the fuck did he figure all that out? I mean, was he already possessed? He was already possessed, wasn't he? He was already a ghost.
No, he was... I mean, from my understanding is he read the book that McCarthy and Wigg's character wrote, which is how the whole movie started, was Wigg was approached by this guy going, I need your help, and handing her the book, and he goes, how'd you get this? There were only 2 copies, and I burned them.
Yeah.
But that's beyond the point. They find his copy of the book.
There literally was no character development for the main villain. I mean, if you go back to, once again, to the original Ghostbusters films, Dana started off having a paranormal incident where the eggs cracked and burned on her counter, and she opened the fridge and she saw some lights, and there was a tower in the distance, and there was a voice that said Zool. I heard a voice that said Zool. And then that kind of kicks off the whole thing, and it's like later on, all of a sudden, there's like the possessions and all that kind of stuff, but then even in the second one, it's like the slime starts off in the beginning where it carries the carriage all the way, and it's like, okay, we have the same character from the first one. the slime is trying to be evil, and it's trying to come out of the bathtub and trying to grab the child and all that kind of stuff. Like, the development was so good in the past 2 films. And in this one, it was like, I get picked on. I'm a dork. I read a book.
Oh, what was that?
Like, was he most likely to become Ash from Evil Dead? Be like, I read a book, the Necronomicon. Oh, no, wait, I just read a book that was published by 2 idiot scientists that wasn't supposed to be published anyways.
Yeah.
Stupid.
It's... I don't know. But then you've got so many things that don't make sense in this film, and I think it had a setup. It had bones to it that could have been really fleshed out good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
But for some reason or another, it just wasn't fleshed out. It was left.
Did they say was this film produced? If I'm not mistaken, wasn't this film produced by a woman?
Oh, I know Aykroyd had something to do with producing.
Aykroyd
but
was an executive producer.
I heard that a lot of the original cast were basically forced into this movie, saying,
yeah.
I don't know how they did it, but
I mean, if you look online, all right. So the Ghostbusters, the original one, was like a 7.8 on IMDb. This one's a 5.3. The original on Metacritic was like an 80 something. This one's a 60. But so let's see, who was it? Who was the? Who you gonna call? Of course, blah blah blah. Just, Paul Feig. All right, so he's done stuff in the past. Okay, you kind of knew this was gonna be bad. No offense, but Bridesmaids. All right, Bridesmaids. He did Bridesmaids, and that was
another McCarthy film.
No, but it was funny. No, it wasn't McCarthy. It was Wig.
Okay.
And it was funny, like shitting in the middle of the street with like a wedding gown on and stuff. That was funny. Spy with Melissa McCarthy actually wasn't too bad. But what's the rest that he's done as a director? Let's take a look. Oh God, he's doing The Heat 2. The first one was
The Heat. I don't even remember that.
The Heat was with Melissa McCarthy and
Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, I never watched that one.
He directed 15 episodes of The Office, Nurse Jackie, Poor Death, Parks and Rec. He never really had a film career, like a film career, until literally Ghostbusters, or until Spy, actually. So it's like, when you're taking such a rookie kind of film director and throwing him into a role that people expect a lot out of, especially with a title as the name of Ghostbusters.
This is one of those films that deserved a lot better than it got, I think.
Definitely.
I mean, I'm not saying that anything about the actors or anything. I think they probably did as best as they could, considering who they are and the roles they had to play. But this is a film that deserved a lot better.
Though the one thing too that really kind of bugged me about this film, and I don't know if it's a race thing or not. No, the woman who was the black woman,
Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones. Now,
who forgot not to feed the trolls. I'm sorry.
She left Twitter from all the backlash she got from it. Now, she doesn't deserve that at all. No one.
She didn't deserve it.
No one deserves that.
But she didn't help herself by feeding into it.
The movie had so many racially forced jokes.
Racially and gender forced.
Yeah, well, it was a very feminist film, but racially forced were like jumping off the stage and landing on the floor. It's like, I don't know if it was a race thing or what, but I'm mad as hell. It's like, we understand, we get it. It's like, it's a huge thing in the country right now. It's a majorly sensitive topic, and no one deserves that kind of like torture that the African American community is going through right now. And I support them 100%. It's like, but the thing is, though, when you look at what's going on, and then you oh my God, I saw a ghost. Oh, no, wait, it's just this guy. This is Dave. So we were just talking about Leslie Jones and her character, and the the racial kind of insensitivity, I guess you could say. It's like, she puts out there, like, she's trying to get the agenda out there for Black lives and whatnot, which, everyone should be aware of, and I'm pretty sure based upon the media in the world today that we're all aware of. But I mean,
Never let it was go to waste.
It's what?
I'm sorry, it's a media thing. Never let a good tragedy go to waste to push an agenda or to.
We're not going there, Dave. This is a neutral podcast.
I'm sorry.
It's like what we need to do is, obviously, like they say, like, oh, why don't black actors or actresses have like a better supporting role or a better role in a film? Are we forgetting Star Wars? I mean, are we forgetting Captain America: Civil War?
They're
John Boyega in Star Wars Episode 7 was unbelievably good.
He was good.
Oh my god. Like, he was fan-freaking-tastic. And I'm kind of curious whether or not, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, hoping that he's actually the son of Lando Calrissian that was taken from him as a child. Because that would be amazing. That'd be huge.
That would be pretty good.
Yeah, because they were taken from their parents as kids to become stormtroopers in that film. But it's like, in this film, in Ghostbusters, it's like, it was like joke after joke or like agenda after agenda. It was forcing it down your throat, saying,
Yep.
This is what's happening, this is what's going on. And it's like, oh, I don't know if it's a race thing. And then, get out of my friend! Be gone with you! Like, okay, the huge earrings. She dresses really with the big earrings. I don't know if it's crime to look good or not. It's like,
I don't know.
oh god, it was just honestly, no offense to anybody.
I don't know.
It was poor casting. It was just poor casting. Melissa McCarthy could have been done away with. Kirsten Wiig, she was fine. The girl that played the Holtzman was good.
Yep.
She was kind of funny, but you could have ditched the other two and done a better casting job with those two, and it would have been a hell of a lot better.
I think part of the issue was McCarthy in there. No one can expect even a remotely semi-serious job out of her.
No.
You see a McCarthy film, and what do you expect?
Stupid jokes and random nonsense. Same thing, too, with Mike and Molly. Don't get me wrong, Mike and Molly, it took like a season, but it grew on me, and it was somewhat funny. But then when she started doing serious films like Spy and stuff like that, the only thing that made Spy funny was Jason Statham. Because he was ridiculous and over the top, and you never see Statham like that. McCarthy, we're kind of used to her weird antics and comedy. So
yeah, I think the biggest issue I have is you look at her. She's very typecasted. I mean, she has a role. She knows how to play it. I don't think it sat that well with this movie.
No, not at all.
It's one of these things where, I mean, you look at the original, they had their funny moments, but a lot more time they were sedate and serious about their roles, too.
And even with the second one, too, where they removed Bill Murray for the greater part of the beginning of the film, and you saw more of Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd, and built up their characters because they weren't the main ones in the original film, which was fantastic. It was a great job they did that. I mean, maybe they'll do that with the sequel to this film, but if I've heard correctly, is that the sequels for this film is going to be a male cast. Like, I don't know if it's going to be like a different location, or like if it's going to be Chicago or something, or Miami or whatever, but like they could have done a lot more in this film. Like they took like the slime from the first one, they took the kind of Zool-esque style of so the second and the first one, they kind of merged them together. There was like a merger. There was a big merger between the two of them. Yeah. There was no hate slime. There was no whatever. But the one thing, I've said this already like 5 times, so another thing that pisses me off was Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Yes.
Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was a balloon.
And it got
Fucking balloon.
It got stabbed in the butt by a Swiss Army knife, which defeated it.
And what was the other feminist attack that they had in the film, Dave?
They shot the main character who started off, or if you remember at the end of the first one, the Zool asked them what they fear the most, and it turned out to be the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man was the only thing that they could think of. So that was their main enemy. Well, Wesley Jones says something cute or small and cute, if I remember.
It was like cute and small and whatever.
And so Rowan became the Ghostbusters symbol ghost, and then you see him start morphing until he's this big, like
he grew
couple
to the
100-foot tall
he grew
thing,
to the size of like the building.
And then to defeat them, they shot him in the crotch. Right?
Shot him in the penis.
Yeah.
Yes, that is our weakness as males. Our penis. Oh,
So,
wait, did we go back? Did we originally? We talked about the fart jokes. Did we dive into the queef jokes? We did. We did a little bit. Okay,
we talked about that. Yes.
It's like,
they're
come on. Fucking stupid.
I mean, in the end, you had Remus constantly telling the others, "Don't cross the streams."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's no mention of that in this one.
But Wig did touch on full proton reversal.
I think so.
She talks about the reversal of like space-time collapse. Don't cross the streams. She doesn't talk about crossing the streams though, but she says, "Oh, full protonic reversal."
Yeah.
Was the original quote. She says that about time, like someone says time stopping instantly and exploding at the speed of light, but they don't say that though. But she talks about full protonic reversal. So it's like they make reference to the original film, like, hey, we did that, remember, we did that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. Let's make something original and different.
Yeah. But I mean, the end there wasn't that feeling of, well, we don't know if this will kill us or save us, but let's just let the first one had.
I got an idea. I have an idea. The reason why what was done was done. Paul Feig had to prove to his audience that he could do something old to introduce something new. It's the same thing that Abrams did with Star Wars Episode 7. Although Abrams succeeded at everything that was supposed to have been done, where he made it a clone of Episode 4 and making it new and interesting, but at the same time setting up for a further trilogy.
Yes.
This one, they said, let's do everything old again to prove that we can do something new. And in this case, they failed, in my opinion.
Horribly.
Terribly.
They just fell flat on their face. There was no...
It was bad. It was bad.
Yep.
So, I think we're going to call it right now. This is not another podcast. My name is Kyle. This is
David.
And
kill me now.
This was a shitty movie.
Just kill me now.
Don't go see it. If anything, wait for it to come out later or download it digitally on demand, whatever. Spend a few bucks on it. But don't go out and see it in IMAX 3D or anything like that. It's not
definitely not worth the money for IMAX.
Worth the money. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us once again, and we will see you next weekend.
Have fun.
Dicks. Dick jokes.
Queef jokes.
Queef jokes.
Fart jokes.
Fuck.